What is going on, everybody? My name is Alex, coming back to you with another video, and today we are finally going to talk about why exactly Cold War Zombies was both a huge failure and a huge success, and why this makes me so nervous and a bit hopeful for the future of the mode. And I really do want to say that the main reason I wanted to make a video like this was to emphasize that the points for Cold War Zombies, well, the successes and the failures, they're both the same. It really depends on how you look at it. And that being said, it would really mean a lot to me if you could stick around to the end of this video while we talk about all this stuff. Yes, this is how the YouTube game is played, and if you like this type of content, just let me know with a thumbs up and a sub, and that would really help out the channel. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it. As I just alluded to a moment ago, Cold War's successes and failures are actually one and the same, aside from a few things, that is. And really, this whole debate is all about your perspective and what you like subjectively. So with the topics I bring up, if you do like them, well, then you're probably gonna like Cold War a little bit more, and if you don't like them, well, then that's why you think it failed, because the changes were so radical that it's actually kind of really all subjective on what you think about this game. And I use these terms, you know, failure and success loosely here because Cold War really was the #1 selling game of 2021, which blows my mind. So in terms of Cold War Zombies, we don't really know where this stands as far as the overall success of the game, but either way, that's just insane. Good for you, Treyarch. I think that's an amazing accomplishment. So the talking points for this video can be broken down into 4 categories: the Black Ops identity, systemic changes with a subcategory of gameplay difficulty, the DLC and reward system, and then finally innovation. I think you can kind of guess where I'm heading with all of this, and that's okay because I want to keep this discussion in the back of our minds while we are approaching Vanguard Zombies launch. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of this video, I do want to say I truly believe Treyarch were not exactly sure what they wanted to do with zombies when Cold War came out, and I know that they likely had roadmaps and story beats and basic ideas laid out. I mean, they have to, they're a multi-million-dollar studio, but zombies felt so incomplete at launch. And I think that the direction that Treyarch has taken has been fully realized, and while I'm not a huge fan of every element of Cold War Zombies, it does give me a lot of hope for Vanguard Zombies and the fact that it might be able to live up to the heights that Cold War just wasn't able to execute, simply because it was meant to build this foundation of the new era that is 2021 zombies and beyond. But now that they have flushed out the Cold War Zombies systems and the overall design and whatever their plan is, a lot of these points that we are going to be talking about regarding the failures and successes are going to hopefully be optimized and built upon inside of the new zombies mode. There are definitely going to be some that will not be able to be changed because they're not just zombies problems, they're like the COD franchise problems. But hopefully Activision will loosen their grip a little bit and give players a little more freedom when it comes to a few of the elements that I talk about inside of this video. Okay, our first point is the Black Ops identity. And what do I mean by that? Well, before the advent of Modern Warfare 2019, each game that came out from a COD studio was relatively unique as far as its like gameplay identity. Yeah, I know we had a stint where every game was full of jetpacks and whatever, but inside of those titles, the overall feeling for them varied from studio to studio. When Treyarch came out with a new title, we were always expecting a radical campaign, a multiplayer system full of unique specialist characters, and a zombies mode with a crew that would carry us from map to map, that would also bring out a narrative which the developers were carefully crafting for us, you know, that would last for years. Sometimes they didn't, but they were always fun storylines. And since this is not a full game review, we're just going to zoom in on the zombies elements here, okay? So up until very recently, every zombies rendition had a very specific way of bringing the story to life by having our characters bring us our narratives through cinematic cutscenes and in-game voice lines and, you know, all that stuff, and that's been fundamentally stripped from players in Cold War Zombies. My initial reaction was just like yours. I hated it. I thought it was stupid and lifeless, but my overall thoughts have kind of evolved a little bit because I'm thinking now, well, we have these main characters like radioing in, and I guess that's similar to having character voice lines in the game. I don't know, I guess. I mean, we're not going to see anything from our first-person view like with the character. We're not going to see anything from a third-person perspective, so does it really matter who's talking? And then I started thinking about this even more after I watched Milo, or Mr. Raffle Waffles' video about how they could actually evolve this system by having the field upgrades, which are represented by gods now inside of Vanguard Zombies, and how they can become main characters, which would satiate the operator system and give fans a sort of a crew that we could grow to love. It is kind of an ingenious idea and a win-win system for everyone. I mean, Treyarch could hire whoever the hell they want, fans could get a crew, and then Activision can make $1 bajillion off of the operators. So I don't know, it seems like the best of all worlds for all people involved. But this whole identity crisis that Cold War Zombies presented didn't just fall short with the lack of crew, it also fell short on the map identity, the gameplay identity, and the specific features inside of each map. Alright, so let's move on to our second point. This is going to be talking about the system changes in the gameplay difficulty. And I know we were kind of heading in that operator direction just a second ago, and we're going to touch on that in a bit, but just trust me, I think it makes a bit more sense following the struggle of Cold War Zombies identity, talking about the systemic features that have been radically changed. In the previous Zombies game, each map was meant to present the player with a new set of challenges inside of a particular environment with specific weapons for that map. Each Zombies experience was meant to be 100% unique. With Gorod Krovi, we had mechs and dragons. With Call of the Dead, we had George Romero. With Ancient Evil, we had 2 maps merged into one with exaggerated gaudy set pieces emphasizing the Greek and Roman decor. Just insane stuff, you know? Most of these maps were iconic and they would stick in your head for years to come, and they had massive replayability because they had something about them that could only be experienced with that map. Well, that's just no longer the case. Every map in Cold War Zombies plays the exact same, and that's due to 2 things. 1, the systemic overhaul, and 2, the less exaggerated set pieces that bring the game closer to a reality that we're used to, rather than the cinematic, fantastical universes from Black Ops 1 through 4, I suppose. And these systemic changes are things like the weapon rarity, the pack-a-punch system, the crafting table, the armor system, the perk system, the field upgrades, the Ethereum Crystal RPG unlock system in the menus, the pinging system, the loot drops, and of course, the self-revives. Once all of these systems are baked into the core gameplay loop of Cold War Zombies, if you removed one of them from any of the maps, you would be severely disadvantaged because the game is designed to be played this way. A lot of these features are actually pretty sweet, and I like that I can experience them from map to map, especially the crafting bench. I think that addition with the salvage system is amazing. The things that I don't enjoy though are the field upgrades and the perk system and the armor system. I think that by simplifying these systems so much, it just removes an element of exploration with side quests and Easter egg rewards that I just find to be hollow, and I miss it. I really enjoyed that so much, and there's no exploration in these maps anymore. No longer is it pertinent to explore the map to build the shield, or in this case, an armor vest. No longer is it pertinent to find a secret perk during a side quest, because you can just buy it from the Wonder Fizz machine, which has also been changed from its mystery box-like state, and is just a regular soda machine. And no longer is it pertinent to have a specialist weapon quest, because you just pick whichever field upgrade you want in the menus and then change it on the fly inside of the game. Now, it's not all bad, okay? I love having a perkaholic, and I think if they didn't allow players to have a perkaholic, it would be very unbalanced. I just wish that you could earn the perks as like a reward for doing the Easter egg, or doing 3 different side quests, or completing the Easter egg in a previous map allows you to do another Easter egg inside of Firebase C, which allows you to get a perkaholic. I don't care what it is, as long as there's elements of the game that are rewarding, so that when I go into the next experience, I am feeling like what I just did previously meant something. The fact that each map has the same exact systems means that each map basically plays the exact same way, and really the only thing changing is the set dressing, and these maps are just not that exciting. So where am I going with this? Well, all of these systems that Treyarch has placed into the Zombies mode kind of funnel into a much easier gameplay loop, much easier than any previous Zombies iterations, and we're not talking about elixirs and gobblegums and stuff like that. Now, what I'm about to say is actually kind of weird, alright, but just bear with me, okay? Everything inside of Cold War Zombies has been streamlined in such a way that this is honestly the most balanced Zombies mode that we've ever played. But that's a good thing, right? I agree, that is a good thing. That being said, it's the least rewarding zombie system I have ever played, because there is nothing to do to bend or break the rules. You just hop in the map, buy everything, and yes, once I am set up fully, it's a very balanced experience, but the main quests, they're empty. You just beat them in the map ends. You can get to round 9 jabillion million if you want to, and it's no different after round 55. Everything is just very empty, very hollow. And all you have to do is just survive long enough to buy the next thing. There's nothing standing in your way, nothing to overcome, nothing to be rewarded. It's very strange. And the game has been filled with so many multiplayer or battle royale features that is so much more casual friendly, meaning people don't have to spend hours diving into the map and exploring things or looking up guides. And I can appreciate that to an extent. I can. When I want to just hop in and play a quick game, it's nice to be able to just buy everything and not do crazy quests all the time. But for the overall replay gameplay value and the individuality of each map's experience, it's just not there for me, man. Die Maschine and the Forsaken play the exact same, in my opinion. And I understand that this is the goal that Treyarch set out for, and part of it is really nice, and I want them to continue to build upon some of these new feature sets, but in my opinion, it has hurt the hardcore player base and the replayability of the mode a lot. And I hope that Treyarch tweaks this in Vanguard whenever the next round-based map comes out. And if they don't do that, then hopefully the maps are cool enough and the aesthetic is awesome enough and the story is great enough to make me forget about my complaints. Now we are on to the third point of this video, and it has to do with the DLC content model, the in-game shop, and the reward system inside of the game. Cold War Zombies is one of the most grindy games that I have played in a long time. The problem with that is all of the grinding is essentially worthless. Here is everything you can more or less do inside of Cold War overall and inside of Zombies. You can unlock Dark Ether or DM Ultra, you can complete the Battle Pass, you can complete every seasonal challenge, you can collect all of the intel, you can complete all of the new map challenges, you can complete all of the Dark Ops challenges, and you can complete all of the Easter egg quests. But ask yourself this, what do you get for it? Not much of anything. I have really been thinking about the reward system for this game, and virtually all that you can get for your time are calling cards, and I guess the items in the Battle Pass, but you have to pay for that. I'd say the only thing that is actually earnable are the DLC weapons, which is a good thing, okay? I'm trying to be fair here, good and bad, right? I enjoy that. But what about the $10,000 worth of crap inside of the shop? As players, we are now only able to earn 1 to 2 base weapons every few weeks for free, and then we have to pay to earn passive rewards via the Battle Pass, and then we have to pay for all of the skins inside of the shop, weapon skins that is. I know that there are also extra skins that you can unlock for your player, and there are challenges associated to them that lead to another skin that you can unlock, and that's all fine and good, but since it's a first-person shooter game, the value is a lot less with something like that since you can't really see it, and all the value is with the mastercrafts, the reactives, the nice camos, the nice blueprints, but there's not one challenge for an actual good blueprint inside of the game. Onslaught had like 4 or 5, but that mode was a Sony exclusive, so all of the Xbox and PC players are going to miss out on all of those guns. Then they added around 4 to 5 gun blueprints inside of the Prestige shop about a month or two ago, and those cost a certain amount of Prestige tokens, and all of that stuff is good, but it's very limiting, and that's really all that there is. They're not even the good blueprints. They're not even mastercrafts or reactive camos. All of the worthwhile content in this game is locked behind a paywall. There has to be a happy medium here. Why is it when I put the Dark Ether camo on a regular Gallo, it looks terrible? But if I put the Dark Ether camo on a skin that I paid $20 for, it looks magnificent. And one could argue that it better look magnificent if I'm paying $20 for a skin, but Treyarch is the one putting the fans in this imposition. Neurocinema has been talking about this for a while, and I don't blame him, okay? He doesn't buy anything in the game, so if he doesn't buy anything, or if you don't buy anything, there's not really anything for you to do, and you don't really get to enjoy the fruits of your labor inside of this grindy Call of Duty. But the problem is, not with you, not with me, not with Neuro. The problem is that there's no balance inside of this monetization model. And we can see that Treyarch is doing something similar with how they handled the end of Black Ops 4's life cycle, where there are now bundles with COD points that you can earn through in-game challenges. If they had had a COD point earning system inside of the game the whole time that allowed people to grind for content and buy content as well, I would not be complaining. I know how insane it is to make some of these high-level mastercrafts. They are beautiful, and the developers who make it, the artists that make it, they deserve to be paid. And I don't mind paying for some content, but paying for all of it is just obscene. Imagine if you could complete an Easter egg quest 4 times with no perks and could unlock the Alice in Wonderland XML Mastercraft. Or you could earn COD points by getting to round 100 on every map in the game. Or unlock 2 Mastercrafts for free by getting to level 150 inside of Outbreak, or whatever, something ridiculous. There is genuinely no reason to play this game other than to unlock the DLC base weapon skins, completing occasional event challenges, and getting some free skins that are tied to the Battle Pass. And if you love the game and you want to play it all the time because of actual passion, then I get it, more power to you. But there has to be an end game. There has to be a reward for you. There has to be something to strive for. Cold War Zombies, well, Cold War in general, is a game that has so much content and so many challenges to grind for, but has the weakest reward system of any game that I've ever played in my life. And this was a huge missed opportunity by the devs and Activision, and it's really an opportunity I would bet was intentionally missed by them as well. So the last thing I want to talk about here is innovation. This year we saw 2 new modes inside of zombies. One of them is Onslaught and the other one is Outbreak. Now we're not going to talk about Onslaught very much. If you want to see my thoughts on that, there should be a card on your screen right now for my review on the Onslaught mode. And if the card isn't good enough for you, well then there should be a link in the description for the video. And if the description isn't good enough for you, well then I guess I'm SOL. But shortly after the release of Outbreak, Treyarch posted a blog post where they were talking about how Outbreak was in fact DLC 2 and that so many people were flocking to Outbreak and that it was rivaling traditional round-based content numbers. Like, that's insane. Now, I have no idea if this is true or not, but I know that at the same point, we had only had 2 maps inside of an incomplete game over a few months span and fans were desperate for anything. And with all these new changes that had not been flushed out yet inside of Cold War Zombies, there was not much to do other than to play Outbreak. And Outbreak isn't a bad mode. I'm not here to dog on it, especially when you compare it to how it is now versus how it was at launch. It's like night and day. It's like not even the same game mode. It's insane how much they've done to it. But Treyarch said that they had a lot of people playing it, and at first, I didn't believe them. I figured that this was BS and there was no way that this was happening and round-based would always be taking first place. However, the more I think about it, the more I think I might be wrong. If this game was the best-selling game of 2021 and they put all of these new features into the game to make it easier for casual players combined with the open world zombies experience, this actually might be true. I know a lot of people like Outbreak and I want Treyarch to try new things, but they tried way too much in my opinion by adding this game mode on top of all the systemic changes. They really changed so much from the difficulty, the core systems, the narrative delivery, and then on top of that, they put in a brand new mode and telling us it's rivaling round-based maps. I do actually think a new era of zombies is needed in order to keep this game fresh, well, the game mode fresh in general, and Treyarch has made a lot of great changes, but it seems like they have left a lot of the past of zombies out of their new ideas, and I think that is a critical mistake. If they were to combine more difficult Easter eggs, amazing side quests, and the over-the-top set pieces, the fantastical maps, you know what I'm talking about? If they were able to combine all of that with some of these new systems, I really think they could make the perfect game with Vanguard Zombies. Overall, I think I have a newfound belief in Treyarch. They created some pretty amazing systems, even if I don't like them. It's objectively true that they have created some new stuff and put it inside of Cold War Zombies and then they flushed it out inside of a year. I am just nervous because the newly popularized Outbreak mode, it's just not for me, and I'm not sure what direction that Treyarch's going to be heading. Cold War Zombies is the first game since World at War where we have received less than 5 maps total by the end of the game's life cycle. And now we're starting off Vanguard Zombies launch with Der Anfang, or whatever the hell it's called. It's a confusing time to be a COD fan because I know that the ridiculous monetization models are going to continue, and I know that we are going to be getting some weird new modes inside of Vanguard Zombies, but I just can't help but cling on to a bit of hope that they are going to revitalize the round-based community by taking a little bit of the old Zombies magic and sprinkling it in with the new Zombies formula so that we can truly have the best possible experience for all players. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it at all, please leave a like or a subscription for more content like this. My name is Alex. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everybody.